Yeah. We'll have three sections for today's press conference, starting with the broadcast, and we'll go to Paul Gilmore at Sky Sports.
Hi Frank, Happy New Year.
Hi, and to you, Paul.
Frank, what have you been told about the chances of this game being postponed this weekend?
I haven't been given the chances of the game being postponed. I'm just aware of the situation, and at the moment the game is on. We know that Manchester City had some positives within their training ground. We have had a couple ourselves, but not in the playing staff, and that's the current situation.
Have you any concerns, Frank, about playing in the game, or how safe do you as players and staff feel in the current climate?
Well, generally probably as safe as the public, because of the new surge in numbers that we're seeing. So I think, and that's relatively, I think we feel the same. What we are is in probably a more protected environment, certainly in the workplace. I know some people are working from home or staying at home, but we're now being tested twice a week. I think that was really important. I don't understand why we went down to one, so two is important. And it seems to me the situation in a minute is that we go game by game in terms of the games that have been called off have been because of positive tests around that game itself. And I understand that. Let's just see how it goes, because as I say, I think it's uncertain times.
The game itself, the teams are level on points. City, albeit, have a couple of games in hand. But what significance are you putting on this game?
Well, it's significant for ourselves because it's a game we want to win against a very good opposition. They're always going to be there or thereabouts. Man City, we know that. So to be up there with them, even with our recent run of form in the last few games, is a plus and an opportunity to win a game against a competitor.
What's the team news for the match? Is Hakim Ziyech fit to start if required?
He's fit to train. He's trained the last few days, 2 or 3 days. So I'll have to make that decision in terms of whether he's ready to start. Other than that, Reece James is out. Reece has got a small hamstring problem.
Okay.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Hi Frank, Happy New Year. How are you?
Hi, good, thank you. And to you.
Can I just go back on what you said right at the beginning? You said that you've had a couple of positive COVID tests, but not within the playing staff. Is that this week?
Yes.
Okay. So there's no one on the playing side has been affected. That's good news. A question I've asked a lot of managers, and I noticed that Steven Gerrard's been talking about it today, is that playing on, because some people have said maybe we should have a break, but playing on is good for the mental state of everyone in the nation. I mean, everyone's sitting at home, a lot of people are not doing very much, and being able to watch their team, Chelsea, whoever on TV, is good for them.
I'm not sure on that one, Moose. I think I understand it. I certainly, we love football. If you do love football, you love watching the amount of games you get to watch at home. But I think safety has to be paramount. When you look at our squad, the fact that I've said that we've got a couple of staff positives means that there are lots of people working at Chelsea within our bubble who have babies, parents, friends, sisters, brothers, whoever, grandparents, and they come here and go to work, and then they go home, and they obviously are in the environment where we're in another surge of COVID, which seems to be more contagious, if that's the right word, than we previously thought, or it is. So I think safety and security is absolutely paramount, as opposed to trying to keep nation spirits up. I know might not be a nice thing to say, but there are tough times for everybody. We enjoy watching our football, but safety and health has to come first.
So before I ask one final football question, can I just say you would be prepared to stop for a couple of weeks if necessary?
Well, I'd have no choice. But we had that before in March, and then we came down, and it was. I have to say, the Premier League and clubs themselves have done everything they can to make the environment as safe as possible. But as we're finding, that's not always easy to do when people go home and leave the building, and the numbers are going up, particularly in London where we're at. So I think that would have to be for the authorities, the government, the Premier League, everybody to be clear that it would be beneficial to stop in terms of a circuit breaker or whatever. And that's something that I don't know. And if you're told to stop, you stop.
if that's above your pay grade, football management certainly isn't. So here's a football question for you. Beginning of the season, over a course of a Premier League weekend, we would see anything between 30 and 40, 45 goals scored. There were some unbelievable scorelines. It seems to have got back to some sort of normality recently. Why are we seeing less goals, Frank?
I don't have an absolute answer for that, but from our own terms, I can only just talk football, and it's hard to say whether I think the crowd has affected. No crowd has affected football, but I'm not sure how much or why. Maybe things have settled down slightly. But all I've seen recent weeks for ourselves is that we're not as fluid as we were a few weeks ago, and we have to get back to that in terms of how quickly and well we move the ball. And we've come up against teams that are very well organised, and that's for our point of view. That then it's harder to break them down so much, and you have to also try and be as secure as you can be. So I don't have an answer, Moose. I'm sorry, I've sort of waffled a bit there, but I think it's not clear.
Okay, Faker Ruffers.
Thanks.
Hi Frank, happy New Year.
Hi, and to you.
You've got a really good record at home to Manchester City, but they obviously have the best defensive record in the league this season. So how confident are you going into this match, and where can you see their weaknesses?
Well, I'm confident in us as a team because I know when we play, particularly at Stamford Bridge, and play as well as we can, then we have opportunity to beat anybody. When I say that, Manchester City are right at the top. So when we beat them in restart, for instance, 2-1, it was a really difficult game in which we had to suffer at times because they're such a good possession-based team. So I'm confident in us. I know we need to be at our best to win because of the level of opposition. In terms of their weaknesses, I don't see it. I think they're just a very strong outfit, very well managed. They don't concede many, as you mentioned. They have lots of threats in attacking areas. So we'll have to focus on ourselves, be at our best, and if we're at our best, then we can make weaknesses against any team.
What do you want to see from your team, though, on Sunday, which maybe you didn't see in the Arsenal and Aston Villa performances?
Well, I don't think Arsenal and Aston Villa are comparable. Arsenal was probably, in my opinion, the worst performance of the season because of our first half, not the second, but the first. And we have to accept that sometimes that can happen. Every team in the Premier League has had one or two of those at least this season. We've seen that in terms of consistency. Villa had more energy. We had opportunities. We should have won the game. But we have to keep those energy levels up. It was slow against Arsenal. It needs to be quick against Manchester City. It needs to be disciplined against them defensively. So I want to see real discipline in the way we defend and a lot of speed in our game when we attack.
How important is it, though, mentally to start off 2021 with a win?
It's important because we come off the back of a few games where we've not been at our best and we've dropped some points. We're fortunate we had a really long unbeaten run before that, so the league table doesn't look terribly bad when you think we're very close to the top and the top four positions. So it's important for us, yes, mentally, because we need to start winning games regularly, and of course City will be very hard to do that, but we'll try. But in terms of the year ahead, we're still progressing. We've got improvement to make. I know that now, and that's what we just have to do: work hard every day, work hard for every game that's in front of us.
Just finally, Olivier Giroud, 3 goals in 4 Premier League matches now. Are you having to manage his workload a little bit, or has he earned that starting place every week?
I think I've managed to workload over Christmas. We have a squad and I have to use that. We also look at Tammy Abraham, and I think his recent goals record and this season goals record in play has been very good as well. So I use them both, sometimes to manage workload, sometimes to use their attributes for the game ahead of us.
Okay, and we'll finish this section with Nazar.
Hi Frank, Happy New Year.
Hi, and you.
Just wanted to ask you, last January you kind of looked at the vague idea of getting in a striker. I was just wondering if there's a sort of a plan in place for this transfer window, or do you see it being quite inactive for you guys this January?
I'm not absolutely sure, Nizar, at the moment. I have ideas. We have a big squad. We'll have to see if that changes, if there are opportunities for players that aren't playing so much. That will be a conversation between player, club and myself. And then we'll see whether we feel that we can strengthen in the right way. But we're not jumping up and down to do so. My focus this year is purely on work because we have new players, because we have young players. I'm focusing on that, but we'll see. It's a long month.
Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there and now move on to the dailies.